Hello there and welcome to this video. So my objective is to generate a database of gene sequences associated with epigenetics, and for the data collection part I'll be using a combination of JavaScript driven web scraping along with a Python bot. So in our use case, most of the web pages have data that is loaded in dynamically by JavaScript. So that's why we need JavaScript driven web scraping as opposed to web scraping where we would have static HTML. Particularly since we need to ensure that the source code has all the data loaded in. Now our program is executing and we have finished scraping our 2777 sequence. So for each sequence, its properties are stored in a dictionary in our program, and once all the properties have been obtained, we'll store that dictionary as in the form of a pickle file. Yeah, so let's just close this for now. Yeah, so our program has executed, and so it's fine even if we close our program, as I'm storing all the intermediate results as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, you can observe all the sequence that I have already done using stored in the form of a pickle file. So we have a total of more than 7,300 sequences to be scraped, and once all those sequences have been scraped, we can use these pickle files to generate a JSON file and then a REST API to serve the data. And I'll be talking about the REST API in a future video once we have finished scraping all the sequences. So right now we have completed up to 2779. So yeah, I'm using Ensemble as my primary data source, and so this this data collection part can be divided into mainly two procedures. So the first procedure is to obtain a list of all the available gene sequences and a link to a web page associated with them. So here we have this link for the first gene sequence. So yeah, we need to write a program to extract all these sequences, and we have about 7,389 results for the query epigenetic. And in this URL we have parameters such as the number of sequences or results that have to be displayed per page and the page number. So we can make use of these parameters in our program as well. So let's just take a look at what happens if we put it up to 1000. Yeah, so 1000 results per page, and we can observe that the web page takes some time to load, and that's because these query results are being loaded in dynamically by JavaScript. So yeah, as part of the first procedure where we need to obtain all the links to the sequences, we can use this web page, and we have only 1000 results here, so we need to change the page number up to 8. And so apart from the link, other details that we can get from here is the gene name, then the species, and in case of yeah, if the species is something else like mouse, we have a strain as well, so we can obtain the gene name, the species name, and the strain. So other than that, we also get this here, it's MJ transcript. For humans it will be like from Reactome database, so we can get a property called record as well, like from where Ensemble got the information. Yeah, so we have this record information and then a description as well. So epigenetic regulation of gene expression. So that's 5 details we can collect from here. And a challenge associated here would be like let's take a look at the cattle gene. Yeah, so look at this one, novel gene, cattle gene. So here, yeah, let's look at the normal case. So in the normal case we would have a line here before we have this Reactome gene record, but in case of the cattle gene we do not have that line there. So yeah, the processing will be different and we need to handle that in our code. Let's take a look at another gene, so the shrew mouse gene. Yeah, so in this case we have this source MJ symbol. Yeah, and this line comes after our description, and in this case we do not have the Reactome or yeah record or anything. So yeah, that's another default format, and we need to handle this as well. Now something that I would like to mention is that we have more than 7,300 records, but sequences, but there will be a lot of different formats, and we cannot write the like right now. I haven't written the code to generalize across all of those sequences, so I have done a lot of exception handling, and wherever an exception occurs, I'll just be skipping that sequence. But right now I think my program will collect like more than 6,000 sequences, and it hasn't finished execution yet. Yeah, so that's procedure 1, and we'll get all this that information. Like particularly what we need is the links, and we'll just store that in another pickle file called procedure1 results. I'll just not load that because, okay, let's just remember this 2779, and this is the file I was talking about, procedure1 results. Yeah, I'll just set this number here so that I don't forget, and I'll just come back to it later. So yeah, once our link, we have obtained all the links, we can start our bot, and our bot can visit this web page, and our bot can collect all this information. But in case of the human species, we have like all of these properties, but in case of other organisms, we do not have all of these properties, and some properties are missing. So we need to handle the data accordingly for the human species and not. So after collecting all this data, the next thing would be to go to this sequence link here. So I'm just describing the steps followed by our bot, and that will be automated. So yeah, we need to collect this sequence from here. Yeah, and that will just give us the sequence. Then the bot needs to come back, and in case of humans, we have this HGNC link here. So our bot needs to click that link, and we can get some more information from here, which are useful information. Yeah, so previous symbols, previous name, alias symbols. Yeah, all of these are important, and we have a lot more information on the HGNC page. Yeah, so that's literally it for me describing the steps associated with the bot. And here I'll just show you. So in case of the human species, as I mentioned earlier, we have this 12 properties, but in case of non-human, a lot of those properties are missing, and we need to handle that separately in our Python program. And in case, and another thing with the HGNC page, as I mentioned earlier, is that sometimes there is this message that requests us to accept all cookies, and so our bot should be capable to handle that message as well. So whenever an accept cookie message is popped up, our bot should be able to click OK. Yeah, so that was another challenge as well, and we can get this information. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, as I'm storing it in a dictionary, like different sequences can have different properties, and yeah, it doesn't affect cause any issues like as opposed to a table where like missing values need to be filled with some placeholder. Yeah, so yeah, let me just execute the program again. So okay, wait, here I gave it as 2779 because we have already completed up to there. Let me just give it as 2775, and that won't be an issue. Like our bot won't scrape those web pages again because I wrote the program to skip if the properties are already found in a pickle file. So yeah, we just get this message here, and our bot just continues to scrape from the next one. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you.